right here, Dr. Clarke, he wanted you to get into the history. I have Leo Hansberry, honoring Professor Leo Hansberry, 1894 he was born. He died in 1965. And so he convinced a teacher of in the public school system, Brother Booker Coleman, who changed his name to Kaba Hiawatha Kamene. And Dr. Clarke gave you orders. He said, this guy is so famous, Carter G. Wilson, that William Leo Hansberry, you need to do a story on him. And he did it, honoring Leo Hansberry, an intellectual libation for the architect of America's African Studies Department. And so when you had these guys like Dr. Clarke and Dr. Ben said, we're going to take over the Nile. And we said, what? Sure enough, he led us to the Nile. And at one point, we took 1,000 people to the Nile. Can you imagine?
Wow, man.
1,000 people, including my mother, including my brother's kids, the grandkids,
That's amazing.
Hakeem and Hassan. And Hassan is a scholar at Ohio State. Hakeem is one of the leaders of the Democratic Party. And here is Hassan's book that he wrote. Oh, wow. Can't see it, but at any rate, Bloody Lounge, Civil Rights and Black Power in Alabama's Black Belt. And so there's a Black Panther on the cover. And then my brother said, did you get a copy of Hassan's book? I said, yes. He said, did you read it? I said, yeah, I glanced over it. He said, no, did you go to the front of the book? And so I said, yeah, Hassan, I read his dissertation and he congratulates everybody. He said, no, go to the first page. And sure enough, it says, to Uncle Lenny, meaning me, for everything. Because I did take him to Africa. We did take him across America. And so
Wow.
he says, June 17th, 2009, Hassan Kwame Jeffries. Now, we named him Kwame after Kwame Nkrumah. His brother Hakeem is Hakeem Sekou, after Sekou Touré. So here is his statement to Uncle Lenny and Aunt Rosalind. Thank you for all of the love, support over the years, and especially for lighting the way for my career path. None of my professional accomplishments would have been possible without your example. With love and for the people, Hassan, University of New York University Press. Now, see, when you can pass it on like that, and he is now one of the leaders of the 1619 Project, just like his older brother is one of the leaders of the Democratic Party. So it is, and then we have a picture of them when we took the 1,000 people, a picture of my mother and the two boys when they were 12 and 14 in the great temple of the Nile Valley. So we've really been blessed, but it's not just us. Asa Hilliard, our great brother from Atlanta, same thing, and he has a son who's a lawyer whose name is Hakeem, and Asa was one of the best of us in terms of the scholars. His wife was also wonderful, and his grandmother. And so I have a beautiful picture of him surrounded by my wife and I, and he has a cowrie African crown. Well, when he saw me, and he said when he saw me with an African crown, he said, I need to get me one of those. So I have two or three. He's got five of them. But we have a beautiful picture of him holding us, uh, my wife and I. And he was a special spirit moving among us. And so that's the thing that needs to be told. Who were these people who found a way out of no way to give Africa its true legacy? And of course, before I went to Africa, I went to Europe. I won a Rotary International Fellowship. I beat out the white boys in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. And I won the Rotary International Fellowship. And I went to Europe to study, and Switzerland, study international affairs. And that's when I met Dr. Cheik, Diop, one of the greatest minds in the history of the world. And of course, I have a picture right on my desk of Cheik Anta Diop when he was in America, and they did his portrait to go into the Martin Luther King Hall there, which has a obelisk, George Washington Monument in front of it. And then they did a portrait of Diop, and there's a picture of me just below the portrait. Now, I had because I spoke French, I still speak French, I was asked to go by Dr. Clarke to go to Europe, get away from America and all these things you got to do, and then get the Diop book translated. So I actually did. So Diop's great book, Civilization and Barbarism, I was responsible for getting it translated.